And Sunday at the Sellandort Surf Club. So a week full of racing action here down at the STC. We've got the 6 barrier trials taking place this morning. Take note that trials 1, 2 and 3 and 4 will be contested on the track 2, whereas the remaining trials 5 and 6 will be contested on the sand track. And also Carlos Henrique has forgotten his salts, so he'll be running in green and black colours for Carlos Henrique. So just waiting on the screen for the runners and riders for the first trial to appear. As the first trial is due off at 8:30 AM. Meanwhile, there's a loose horse on the track. So we could be in for a delay for the first trial. As soon as the runners and riders appear up on the screen, then we'll get straight into the action for the first of our 6 trials this morning. And as far as I'm concerned, the first trial is carded off at 8:30 AM. But it does seem like we might be in for a slight delay with a loose horse running about on the track. And the runners and riders are finally up on screen. And RS Diego will be ridden by Andre de Silva, Platinum Legacy, R. Nutman, Elite Boy. Here it says Lutman, but down at the start it could be Fitri. And Elite Captain will be ridden by S. John, and Thunderous will be ridden by Carlos Enrique, and Kim Con is a scratching as he bolted down at the start. So the runners are moving forward now for trial 1. The first of 6 trials this morning. First 2 runners to move in, RS Diego as well as Platinum Legacy. Now for the turn of Elite Boy with the ride of Fitri. Elite Captain and Thunderous will be the last runner to move in. A field of 5 for the first trial this morning. Thunderous steps forward. 5 runners, 1,000 meters on track 2. 1 or 2 runners a little bit fractious. Gates are back, away and trialing from that 1,000 meter mark. RS Diego broke out well with Platinum Legacy pushing forward as Elite Boy, and deep out on the track is Thunderous, who's slowly but surely making his way across from that wide draw to go and set up into a handy position. And last of all is Elite Captain as they make their way into the turn with just on 700 meters left to travel. And up in front it's Elite Boy with the narrow advantage over Thunderous, who's racing away in second, only about a neck separating the first 2. 5 lengths further back in the range to RS Diego alongside Platinum Legacy. And racing 3 wide is Elite Captain as they straighten up with the run for the judge with 400 meters left to travel. Elite Boy, the one in front by the better half of a length. Thunderous is quick to challenge, racing away in second. Then comes RS Diego, Platinum Legacy. And Elite Captain is last of all as they're into the final 200 meters now. Elite Boy goes a length and a half clear. Thunderous trying to cut back the deficit in second. Platinum Legacy further back and running on as Elite Captain. But the run down to the line will be Elite Boy that will win by just over a length. Second place Thunderous, Platinum Legacy in third. Fourth place went the way of Elite Captain. And last across the line was RS Diego. So Elite Boy will go start to finish under Fitri up in front for the Rich Lim stable. It was initially put under M. Lutman, but seems like Fitri has picked up the ride here in trial 1 and will win by about 1.5 lengths as the runners cross the line. Second place going the way of Thunderous. These 2 runners pretty much set the fractions up in front and had no real challenges from the remaining field, with Platinum Legacy back in the third. Then came Elite Captain in fourth. And last across the line was RS Diego in fifth. So to repeat the numbers, Elite Boy the winner, second place Thunderous, in third place was Platinum Legacy, fourth place Elite Captain, and in fifth was RS Diego. That concludes trial 1. Up next is trial 2, 1,000 meters. Up next is trial 2 for the morning. And we'll be starting off with Commander. He'll be ridden by Carlos Enrique. Bold Runner to be ridden by R. Nutman. Warrior 61 will be ridden by Clyde Leck. Combustion to be ridden by Apprentice TC. And Elite Titan will be ridden by S. John. So it looks like Captain Pegasus no longer takes part in this trial. So So those are the runners and riders for trial 2, a field of 5 runners once again, and it'll be over 1,000 meters. Runners are moving in for trial 2 this morning. Bold Runner, the first one to move in, followed by Combustion under TC. There's the orange and white silks. The brown sleeves. There's Elite Titans about to move in. Field of 5 runners here. Warrior 61. In the brighter salts of Clyde Leck. And the last runner to complete the field will be Commander. Commander moves in. 5 runners, 1,000 meters. Handler moves away, set for a start. Gates are back, away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. Warrior 61 pinned the gates, will go and lead the field heading down the back straight. Commander holds his spots on the rail, racing away in second. Bold Runner's in between runners with Combustion, who's keeping him honest up on the outside as they make a line of 3 as the settle back in about midfield, but now Combustion is slowly but surely working his way further back in the field, and the back marker is Elite Titan, who's racing last of all and racing about 5 lengths off the leader. 500 meters left to travel, and Warrior 61 dictates the fractions up in front by 2 lengths. Bold Runner in the one-out placing is slowly but surely working his way into the trial, followed by Commander in third. Then comes Elite Titan, and Combustion watches the trial unfold last of all and is racing 6 lengths off the leaders as they enter the final 250 meters. Warrior 61 in front, but Bold Runner quick to challenge up on the outside, and these two pull lengths clear of the rest of the field, with Elite Titan racing 6 lengths further back in third. But it's going to be Warrior 61 and Bold Runner. These two fight it out with the run down to the line, and it will go the way. Very close. Might just be Warrior 61 who holds on from Bold Runner. Third placing went the way of Elite Titan, Commander, and Combustion was last of all. So it would be a photo finish here with Warrior 61 and Bold Runner. Nothing much separating the two, but maybe, just maybe, Warrior 61 holding his spot. Bold Runner did loom large up on the outside. And there's not even a nose separating these two runners as we wait for them to hit the line as one. And on that, it will be Warrior 61 who will win this trial. Warrior 61 beats Bold Runner into second. And then it must have been about 8 lengths further back to the third place runner, Elite Titan. Followed by Commander, and Combustion was last of all. So that's how they crossed the line for trial 2 this morning. Warrior 61 the winner, followed by Bold Runner in second. Third place Elite Titan. Fourth place Commander, and in fifth was Combustion. And good to see that the first 2 across the line will be running this weekend, and certainly putting up a really nice trial heading into the weekend racing. Up next is trial 3, and we'll wait for the runners and riders to appear on screen shortly. Up next is trial 3, and a pretty big field here. Starting off with Now Pitcher, who will be ridden by Winston Cheer. Thunder Hero will be ridden by Shafiq. Roger A. Saria. Selindor Star will be ridden by Fahan. Dream Ma will be ridden by Andre da Silva. The Wild Chief to be ridden by T.H. Cole. Lim's Dream Walker will be ridden by Apprentice T.C. and Forever 61 to be ridden by R. Newtman. So it's a field of 8 runners for trial 3, and they'll be making their way down to the start shortly. So the runners are moving in for trial 3. It looks like Dream Ma might be withdrawn from this trial, as he has made his way all the way back down to the parade ring pretty much. So I'm not too sure what's happened there, but Dream Ma definitely won't be taking part in this trial. So that leaves us now with a field of 7 runners. As the first 2 runners have moved in, Roger Roger, as well as Cylinder Star. Cylinder Star safely installed. Next runner to move in will be the Wild Chief. Moves in. Being called into line now is Lim's Dream Walker. Then we're left with 3 more runners left to load. Forever 61. Moves in. Now pitcher. Steps forward. And we're still waiting on Thunder Hero, who will complete the field, who has the blinkers and pacifiers on for this trial. Thunder Hero moves into line. 1 or 2 runners, just a little bit restless, and breaking through the front of the starting stalls was Cylinder Star, who was playing up in the starting stalls and has broken through the front. It only went about 5 meters. So they'll try again with Cylinder Star. He was actually reluctant to load when they eventually did load him in. It's very much hot on his toes, the Cylinder Star, who once again proving to be a little bit reluctant to move in. Now steps forward. So just about set for a start. 1,000 meters. Field of 7. Gates are back. Away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. A few runners were slow into stride. Now Pitcher and the Wild Chief are at the back end of the field early on. Thunder Hero hit the ground quickly, goes to the front to lead the field only by about half a length. And Cylinder Star is also right up there in a handy position. And Forever 61, who's racing 3 deep into the turn, is slowly starting to work his way into the trial. Then 3 lengths further back in the running to Roger Roger, who sits on the inside of Lim's Dream Walker, and a breakaway of about 6 lengths in running to Now Pitcher, as well as the Wild Chief, who was slow into stride and are racing last of all with about 8 lengths that cover the field, as they're at the top of the straight now with 400 meters left to travel. Thunder Hero, Cylinder Star, and Forever 61 make it a line of 3. Roger Roger makes his run down towards the inside, and Lim's Dream Walker is weaving a passage towards the inside. Further back to Now Pitcher, and the Wild Chief is last of all, as the field becomes a lot more close and compact as they're into the final 150, and they spread right across the track. Thunder Hero, Lim's Dream Walker, Cylinder Star, Deep Riders, Forever 61, and the Wild Chief, as they all hit the line together, very close. Maybe the Wild Chief just ahead of Forever 61. In between, or down towards the inside, we had Cylinder Star, followed by Thunder Hero, Lim's Dream Walker involved in the photo, as well as Roger Roger, and last of all was Now Pitcher. So a close finish for trial 3. Had about 5 runners spread across the track. Not even a length separating the runners as they all hit the line together. It seems like the outside runners had the advantage here with the Wild Chief and Forever 61. As these two hit the line together as one. And that is very close. Definitely a photo finish, but maybe Forever 61, who will be the provisional winner, followed by the Wild Chief. So Forever 61, I think, has done enough, just ahead of the Wild Chief. Third placing went the way of Selendor Star, followed by Thunder Hero. And then came Lim's Dream Walker, who was back in 5th, followed by Roger Roger. Then came Now Picture, who was last across the line. So a very close barrier trial here, but the provisional winner will go to Forever 61 under R. Nuckman for the Ananthan stable. It seems like he has done enough to just get his nose down on the line, followed by the Wild Chief in 2nd, who put up a very nice trial here, jumped very slowly, but did finish off strongly up on the outside. Selendor Star was back in 3rd, followed further back by Thunder Hero. Then came Lim's Dream Walker, Roger Roger, and Now Picture. So we'll just see the replay once again as they hit the line. Forever 61 and the Wild Chief. It's pretty much a bob of the noses as they hit the line together. And that is mighty close. That is as close to a dead heat as you can possibly get, so not really going to separate Forever 61 and the Wild Chief. 3rd place definitely went to Selendor Star, just ahead of Thunder Hero in 4th. 5th place was Lim's Dream Walker, Roger Roger in 6th, and then came Now Picture, who crossed the line last, but only 3 lengths off the winners. Up next is Trial 4, and once again will be over 1,000 meters. Runners and riders for Trial 4, starting off with Big Asia, who will be ridden by R. Nuckman, Kim Polo, Winston Cheer, Selendor Brown, H.S. Gill, Ghost Raja, to be ridden by Farhan, Ice Age will be ridden by R. Shafiq, and Airbus will be ridden by T.C. Field of 6 runners, 1,000 meters on Trial 4 for this morning, which is the last of our trials, before we head across to the sand track for the remaining 2 trials after this one. So the runners and riders should make their way down to the start shortly in approximately 5 or 6 minutes' time. So the runners are moving in for trial 4. Big Asia, the first one to step forward. Now for the turn of Selindor Brown and HS Gill. Moves in. Ice Age being called into line. So it is supposed to be a field of 6, but it does seem like Dream Mars made his way back down to the start. He was scratched in the previous trial, so I wonder if he's going to join this trial, all the while Airboss moves in. And I think Dream Mars is going to join this trial, so that will leave us with a field of 7 runners now. As Kim Polo is about to move in. Ghost Raja. And the latecomer, Dream Ma. Who was trotted to run in trial 3, now moves into trial 4 and moves in. Field of 7 runners for the 4th trial of the morning. We're set and ready. Gates are open, scents on their way from the 1,000 meter mark, and the start has caught them in a perfect line. Pushing forward is Kim Polo to try and be one of the early front runners. Dream Mars shows pace deep routes on the track as well. As Ghost Raja, he's in between those. Then comes towards the inside, Selindor Brown, racing just ahead of Big Asia. And the bat pairing for now with Shafiq and TC being Ice Age and Air Boss, who watches the trial unfold and racing 5 to 6 lengths off the gallop as they make their way past the 500 meter mark now. And Dream Ma, who's racing a little bit deep, is the narrow leader over Kim Polo in second. Then a breakaway of about 3 lengths and running to Air Boss, who's joined alongside Selindor Brown. Ice Sage racing alongside Big Asia, and last of all is Ghost Raja as they're into the final 250 meters now. Dream Ma as well as Kim Polo, then further back in the running and slowly starting to weave a passage as Ghost Raja is now really starting to show a quick turn of foot, and down towards the inside's Big Asia coming out of nowhere. Big Asia picks up the lead down towards the inside, and Big Asia will come home to win. Ghost Raja in second, Dream Ma third. Then back in fourth we had Air Boss, further back in the running to Ice Age. Then came Kim Polo, and last across the line was Selindor Brown. So Big Asia under R. Newman will win trial 4 this morning. For the Johnny Lim stable, quickens up down towards the inside. Dream Ma was in front, turning for home and made his run towards the outside of the track. But then was picked up in the closing stages by Big Asia as well as Ghost Raja. But it was Big Asia who quickened up best of all on the inside and will win trial 4 for the morning. Second placing going the way of Ghost Raja. Then in third was Dream Ma, followed by Air Boss, who was batting fourth. Then a breakaway of about 4 lengths and running to Kim Polo, just ahead of Ice Age. And then came Selindor Brown, who was last of all. So to repeat the numbers, Big Asia the winner Second place, Ghost Raja. Third place was Dream Ma. Fourth place, Air Boss. In fifth was Kim Polo. Sixth place, Ice Age. And in seventh was Selindor Brown, who was last across the line. Up next is trial 5, and take note, we'll move across to the sand track for the remaining 2 trials for the morning. And it should commence in about 6 or 7 minutes' time. Up next is barrier trial 5, which will be contested on the sand track in a field of just the 4 runners. Cement Prince will be ridden by Carlos Enrique. Pacific Gold will be ridden by T.H. Cole. Leader will be ridden by Esuzer. And Smart Star will be ridden by Clyde Leck. Those are just the 4 runners for barrier trial 5 on the sand track, and it will be contested over 1,000 meters. Runners moving in for trial 5 this morning. And it seems like it's a field of 3 runners. I believe her leader will not be taking part in this trial. So it's all of Samantha Prince, Pacific Gold, and Smart Star that will take place here. Set and ready, 3 runners, 1,000 meters on the sand track. Gates are open, and they're sent on their way from the 1,000 meter mark. Up on the outside, Smart Star hopped out smartly with Samantha and Prince, and those two are the early leaders, with the bat marker being Pacific Gold, who's racing about 3 lengths off the leaders. They're about to approach the back end of the bat straight, with just on 800 meters left to travel now. A change in the order. Samantha and Prince has now improved to go and set the pace up in front. Racing away in second is Smart Star, and then 3 lengths further back and running to Pacific Gold, who is the bat marker as they make their way past the midway mark with 500 meters left to travel. Samantha and Prince and Carlos Enrique, the leaders. Up in second is Smart Star with Clyde Lett, and Pacific Gold still watches the trial unfold. Last of all, under T.H. Coors into the final 300 meters. Samantha and Prince in front, but Smart Star now looms up to challenge up on the outside, and Pacific Gold 3 lengths further back in the trial. And we'll need a lot of luck in running to win from there. So into the final 150 meters now. Smart Star, Samantha and Prince matching each other stride for stride with nothing separating the two. But Smart Star now starts to quicken up, and Smart Star will come home to win. Beat Samantha and Prince in second, and about 6 lengths further back and running to Pacific Gold, who will round up in third. Smart Star and Clyde Lett will take out trial 5 this morning. Samantha and Prince showed a lot of cheating in second, was right up there for the majority of the trial, but Smart Star quickens up best of all up on the outside and will take home the penultimate trial for the morning. Smart Star the winner in trial 5. Second place going the way of Samantha and Prince, and a long way back in third, probably about 6 lengths further back and running to Pacific Gold, who finished in third placing. That completes trial 5 this morning. As we move on to trial 6 to complete our trials, and that should commence in about 5 or 6 minutes time. Runners and riders for trial 6 this morning. Starting off with Strong Dragon, who'll be ridden by CK Core, Guru Fight and Carlos Enrique, Trafalgar, Winston Cheer, Jan Batter to be ridden by R. Newtman, and Sacred Order will be ridden by Andre De Silva. Those are the runners and riders for trial 6 this morning, and they'll make their way down to the start shortly. Runners are moving in for the final trial. Field of 5 runners over 1,000 meters. Trafalgar, who's the only runner in this trial that will be running this weekend. Gunbutter steps forward, and that leaves Sacred Order as the last one to move in, as Strong Dragon and Guru Fight were the first two to step forward. Sacred Order steps forward, 5 runners, 1,000 meters, last trial for the morning. And they're dispatched from the 1,000 meter mark, and Guru Fight just about coming out the starting stalls and lost about a length or so. Towards the outside, Sacred Order hopped out smartly, and along the inside is Strong Dragon, and pushing forward is Gunbate. As they made to a line of 3 and now joined with Trafalgar, who's also pushing forward to set up into a handier position, and Guru Fight, after that slow start, is racing last of all and racing about 4 lengths off the leaders. They're into the turn with 600 meters left to travel. Up in front, Strong Dragon is the leader. Gunbate racing up on the outside in second. 2 lengths further back in the rank to Guru Fight, who after that slow start is now starting to improve around runners. Deep Route is Sacred Order, and down towards the inside, racing last of all is Trafalgar. They're into the final 300 meters now. And Strong Dragon is the leader. Deep out on the track is Gunbate. Trafalgar's made progress. Then comes Guru Fight, and Sacred Order's dropped out at last of all and needs about 10 lengths to find as they're into the final 100 meters now. And Strong Dragon, with a strong kick in the closing stages, goes 3 lengths clear. And Strong Dragon will win full of running in the closing stages. Second place can go to Gunbate. Third place will be Guru Fight, just ahead of Trafalgar. And Sacred Order faded out really badly and has just crossed the line. So Strong Dragon takes our trial 6 this morning, the last trial, and wins rather comfortably at the end. Found a good finish in the final 200 meters, and wins going away in the closing stages. Wins by about 5 lengths with the run down to the line. Second place will go to Gunbate, followed by Guru Fight, who finished in third. Fourth place went the way of Trafalgar, and then a long way back, probably about 15 lengths or so, to Sacred Order, who was tailed off last as he hits the line. So to confirm the numbers for the final trial this morning, Strong Dragon the winner, Gunbate second, third place Guru Fight, in fourth was Trafalgar, and Sacred Order completed the field last of all. So that's the barrier trials concluded for this Tuesday, this Wednesday rather, on the 2nd of April. And as we head into the weekend with racing taking place on both Saturday and Sunday, and it looks like it will be 12 races apiece, with the feature race taking place on Sunday with the New Zealand Bloodstock race, with quite a nice stake at hand and some really nice runners that will be taking place over this weekend. So certainly some action-packed racing awaits. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday, and we'll see you at the races this weekend for 24 races across Saturday and Sunday.